All right. Good time zone, everyone. It is today, 22 February of 2022. Happy Tuesday, everyone. We are back on Tuesday today with another round of adventures. And my name is Marcus, known online as the Chindividual, and I am accompanied here by these fantastic individuals who decide to come back every week and play games with me, which makes me very happy. And I hope they are happy as well. How is everyone doing today on this beautiful Tuesday?
Somebody rescue us. We're here against our will.
I like how part of the announcements is always Marcus declaring, like, you audience are here out of your own free volition. I'm like, what if someone is not? What if they don't know they're here? I guess I have Stockholm syndrome or something because I'm happy to be here. I like my captor, I guess, and my fellow jailbirds. I'm also really happy because it's like the second day I beat Wordle. I got the Wordle on the second try, so I'm in a mood.
Congratulations.
I mean, Wordle is live now, so it's.
I still have yet to play Wordle.
Did you help your mom or something?
Played it.
I helped my mom
Yeah.
once, and I apparently got the word the first try, and she's like, "What?" And I was like, "I don't know." But I am definitely happy to be here.
Is that Morse
You
code
sounded
for
kinda unsure.
Blink in Morse
blink,
code.
blink, 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 blink,
I'm
blink,
kidding.
blink,
I'm
blink,
very
blink.
happy to be here.
Whew. All right, my cover almost blew today, but we're still doing good. All right. Well,
Of course.
it's good to hear that everyone is here in their own free will, or at least pretends to be here in their free will. Today, we are, of course, these players here, due to their free will, have created a situation last week, which we delve into this week. But before we get to that, just our typical announcements for the night. You are here again on the Horde of Tales channel. And if you pay attention, you might see that we've been putting on some fancy new colors. We have a little bit of a new style there.
Good job.
Which
You as well.
was a cooperation between Caro and Ida. Thank you very much to looking into that. Here on Horde of Tales, we do currently play Dungeons and Dragons, and we will play today again our Convergence Manifesto campaign, which is set in Eberron. I have been saying for the past 3 sessions that we're nearing the end of this chapter, but events keep happening. But I will say it again, we are nearing the end of this chapter, which is Live Another Day, the second part of the Convergence Manifesto adventure series. If you like
Still
what you're seeing
questioning if
here
that's gonna happen.
and you want to try these adventures yourself, you can check them out on acrosseberron.com, where there's all information about Convergence Manifesto and other projects of Across Eberron. We are using currently Astral VTT as our virtual tabletop, and should you encounter any battle maps here, they have been built in Dungeon Draft, which is a really great tool, but I won't bore you with my praising of Dungeon Draft. Also, you notice that with your channel points, one of the fancy things you can get with your channel points is the Cat Vantage, which works as follows. If you spot a cat on Austin's screen or on my screen, and you have to spot them, hearing them is not enough, though there are certain cats that are very vocal. If you spot them and you spend your channel points for Cat Vantage, you can give one of these players, including the GM, Cat Vantage on their next roll, which means they will have advantage on their next roll. So keep your eyes peeled for the kitty cats and use those channel points. And I think... Oh, well, wait. One other thing I want to do before we delve in. We also had 2 little milestones this week. We did achieve our 100th subscriber on the YouTube channel, which is something we're very happy about. You can now find our channel at youtube.com/Horde of Tales. No need to put in an entire series of characters and combinations. And if you haven't checked it out yet, we have a link to the YouTube channel below. You can find all our beauties there and also fun shorts that you might want to watch. And also, we reached our 250th follower on our Twitter account, which is very nice to see everyone who's interested in keeping track of us and what we're doing. We enjoy everyone joining us in these adventures. And if you haven't checked out our Twitter yet, why don't drop by on our Twitter, and where you can also find updates. Our shorts are also posted there. And sometimes we also just retweet interesting stuff that we find online. So it's worth checking out. Quickly checking my notes. Did I forget anything? I think we're good. I think we're golden.
Austin.
No, there's nothing else to mention.
Austin.
Huh.
No, that's it.
Huh.
You can start the stream. Don't worry about it.
Everyone should go to our YouTube to see the latest shorts on
You can
youtube.com/Art
skip
of
the
Tales.
latest one.
Or I will
Mm.
repost
not that
the
funny.
latest video on Twitter. And
Mhm.
please, friendly peer pressure in a kind way,
Yeah.
Austin, on
Yeah, no, I don't know. I must have missed that one.
So
Didn't see it.
I think-
Didn't see it come up.
Austin, why don't you take like about a minute, the intro last, to think a bit about it, and we'll get back to that in a moment. So move us over to a quick little intro, and we'll see you in a moment. Back, and we are back. Austin is still deeply pondering whatever Ida had been pointing out. We might find out, but maybe you can help him remember by going to our YouTube channel. But while you do that, don't go away on this channel, because we're going to return to our adventure. And last we left our adventurers, they found themselves on their way out of the Shining Valley, back to the Greywell Mountains. But this voyage back was part of a cunning plan that they concocted with Mino, the leader of the harpies. Pretending that they were the prisoners of the harpies, they would meet in the tunnels with Bravik and the other Droaam scouts and see how events would unfold there. During the day of preparation that the party had, they took the last hours they had in the Shining Valley to either relax, scout a little bit, or, as Rebus did, have some conversation with Ragi, the lore keeper of the harpies. But eventually, the time to say goodbye to the harpies in the Shining Valley came, and accompanied by Piranha and a group of harpies, the party made their way back into the tunnels. On their way there, Dythun used the Sending Stone to have a bit of conversation with Bravik to see what might happen. But eventually, the harpies, the party, and Bravik's scouts came upon each other at the intersection in a cave. And what started as a tense standoff between these groups was eventually escalated by Dythun, who attacked Piranha in a dramatic way, who then in turn again attacked Bravik, which was also followed up by Dythun. Things were starting to escalate and things got chaotic, and that's where we left off last session. And I believe
Someone just wanted to punch things. Was there a plan?
No.
Who knows?
Who knows?
there have to be one.
Everyone's
mean-
confused.
I think there
nobody
was
knows
a
what's going on.
plan somewhere.
there might have been a plan once, but all good plans only last until contact with the enemy. And while I'm
True.
setting up a map here, how about all of you fine people roll initiative?
Oh boy. Here we
Great.
go.
Using my new llama dice.
I want to have new dice as well.
Llama. Oh, that was a bad roll. You're going right into jail. It's okay.
Oh, that was a very bad roll.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, fuck me.
The opening page of my D&D journal actually says the best laid plans often go astray and never survive first contact with the players.
True, very true.
That's not good.
All right. Dythun, what did you roll?
It's an 8.
An 8.
Oh wait, I don't get a. No, I don't have a modifier. It's an
You
8.
tell us.
That's an
You
8.
don't?
I should know that.
As a fighter?
I'm not a dex fighter.
Delphine, what did you get?
7.
A 7.
We're doing great. We're doing
Josie, start
marvelously.
Start
Everyone,
of the session.
Doing
It's horrible
absolutely good.
already.
everyone,
Rebus,
F
what
in
did
the
you get?
chat for all of us. 21.
21. Well, see,
Cats, come here.
that is great. And finally,
Yeah,
Rain.
21 for the one character that like still isn't clear on like what the hell is happening and if we're going to engage or not. So like, great, wonderful.
Rain, what did you get?
2.
Okay, I thought
Just
my
getting
8 was
better and
bad,
better.
but all
I'm a,
things
I'm a
considered.
caster. I'm used
I
to going
just-
to the end of initiative. I think it's better as a caster to go towards the end because they stop moving.
True.
You
True.
should Stop.
Perfect. That is very true. But that means at the top of the round, we have Rebus at the top of the round. Rebus, I did move you a little bit towards the back of the group. There's a few of the other harpies.
Yeah, that's what I would have.
The harpies that are around you that are also now at this point have their weapons drawn and everything. And you
Right,
can
we
see
don't
ahead
have
of you.
weapons except
Keep that in
Typhon.
mind, Edith. You don't have your weapons on you at this point.
There we go.
You do see right ahead of you. You did see what Dythun did. That there was some ice knife blasted beforehand, and that there's now coming from further down the intersection. There's more Droaam scouts also joining the fray.
Mhm.
But you're over here, Rebus. What would you like to do?
Let's see what I can see. Right. Haha, fun. I
Uh-oh. Did I paint on the?
will look to the harpies next to me,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll look to Rain and to Delphine, and kind of say,
What's the plan? What are we doing?
Well, I guess my arms are
And-
bound.
Move a little bit further in just to make sure that like if anything dangerous happens, I can be at the front and like take part in the action and protect anyone who needs to be protected. And I will look which harpy has my weapon.
I think they are all on the ground right now.
Because the I would say the harpy that has your weapon would be this one, the one north of you would have your glaive. So the one that's like 10 feet away from you.
Right.
But I think
So I will
in the
move.
last session they were all dropped on the ground because of this.
Really?
Yeah, I think that was because
Me
of
too.
that in Dyphon attacked and everyone took their weapons. I think there was also the point where the Soppy let go of the weapons.
I don't remember.
They did draw their weapons, but the weapons that they took away from you, they would still be like stowed on backpacks or strapped to their backs. So
Then
they
I
could-
misunderstood.
they still have them on them. And maybe if you ask them nicely, considering the situation, they might give them to you. But who knows?
that-
You would have to ask the harpies.
As an action?
And that would be trying to convince an harpy for that. Yeah, that would be an action.
Okay. Noted.
So I will move slightly further. I will go here past. If the harpies are not restraining me, obviously, I will not like try and forcefully move. I'm just intently looking at everybody, being like, "What is happening? Are we doing this? Is this okay?"
Yeah.
I really need telepathy right now because I'm very confused.
Yeah.
And I will move like over here. I'd like to pass Rain. Just get close to where things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
If that's okay, like if they let me, if not, I'll stay further behind. But
Like at this
just,
point,
you know,
at this
we'll go my way.
at this point, because first of all, you're not armed, you're restrained, like your hands are tied. The harpies currently have greater worries than you walking around. They see their leader in a fight with someone. So as long as you're not obviously doing anything aggressive towards them, they're just gonna, or try to run away or something, they're gonna let you move around. So you just walking around there, that's fine. They don't consider that a threat or a danger.
Right, and I'll look to Typhoon and to Delphine, who are now in front of me. Just
Yeah, my character is in the middle of casting Gust of Wind, so I'm just standing there and have blown away some of the enemies, so I'm holding
And
that spell. So
I was actually gonna ask, wasn't Dyphon blown away as part of that too?
yes,
You're right.
I think he's like
Let me
over there,
put you-
Bravik.
Let me put you over there.
15 feet was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird. It almost looks like we're like on opposite sides of a bat. That's weird. Huh. Strange.
Rebus, what would you like to do after you moved?
I think that'll be my turn because I still don't know if we're going against Typhoon or not.
Fine.
I'd like to offer my hands to is Captain Piranha okay? Does she need like is she on the ground or like
Captain Piranha is okay, but she's currently has her
Okay.
back towards you because she is focused on Bravik, who definitely does not look okay. He took a few severe hits last time, and he's at this point on one knee and is trying to keep himself stable. But Captain Piranha is looking at the knoll and has her back towards you.
I'll just say there certainly has to be another way to resolve this. But you can tell that I'm not very confident in what I'm saying. Not like other times when I just try to de-escalate the situation. Instead, I am just very confused. Looking at Delphine, like, are you sure we're doing this now?
And that's your turn?
Yeah, I mean,
Alright.
like, it's just
If it's absolute considering the situation, that's a fine turn.
interesting
And-
choice. Yep.
That ends our turn and brings us to the turn of Bravik, actually, who also had a pretty good roll on his initiative, but does currently not have a pretty good roll on his health the way he's looking. He took a full blast from the ice knife. He got a knife or a dagger flung at him by Delphine, and he's looking rough, but he also now, as he's looks forward, there is pure anger in his eyes. And he is actually going to... He commanded the rest of the Droaam to also move and attack, and he's going to lead by example. He's going to move over here. And he is going to make an attack against you, Delphine.
Oh no, he didn't. Yeah, it's
No,
on.
let him.
No, it's perfect because that means I can unleash two.
That is a grand total
Just
of...
death sentence.
A grand total of 8.
No.
That does not hit. So he's just going to stand there, weapon raised. He has the scimitar that he's wielding,
In front of that
And-
column of wind.
which is like his hair is being, his fur is being blown back by it. And it might also explain why he has a harder time hitting with his attack, because there's this wind blowing against him, catching on the steel of the blade. And he just can't hit Delphine at this point, which does end his turn also. There's not much else he can do. And brings us to the turns of the bugbears that are with the Droaam scouts. Both of them share an initiative, so I'm gonna go with the first one.
Each creature that starts in the line must starts its turn in the line of the gust of wind has to make a
Mhm.
dexterity saving throw or be pushed even further.
Well, strength saving throw.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the thing.
That is a total of 16 for Bravik.
Yeah, that makes it.
And what's the range on the gust?
60 feet, I think. Wait.
I put it in
Somewhere
astral.
is yeah.
Yeah, 60
Oh, yeah.
feet.
60 feet line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right in front of.
60
And
feet
10 feet
long
wide.
and 10 feet wide, yeah.
Ooh, wow. Okay. So any line of speed must spend 2 feet of. So basically, it's difficult terrain if you move
Mhm.
through it. Okay, Bugbear is going to check if they're going to be pushed further away from the gust of wind. That is a total of 13.
Yeah, makes it.
Okay,
My spell modifier is not that high.
but that still means that he can only move at half his speed, basically. So as he's pushing his weight against the gust of wind, he's just walking through that wind that is blasting in the hallway. The second bugbear also has to make a strength saving throw before he can. No, wait, before I get to the second bugbear, the first bugbear is going to throw a javelin at Delphine. That's a natural 1. Okay, you're on in out time. The second bugbear is going to make his strength saving throw to see if he's pushed further away. That's a total of 15. That makes it, if I'm not mistaken. And he's going to move down here to Dythun. And he also saw Dythun strike against Bravik. So he's going to make an... Didn't Dythun attack Bravik?
Piranha.
No, he jumped in between Piranha and Bravik, but he never attacked
Correct.
Bravik. Not yet.
Correct.
We had 3 attacks against Bravik. First Delphine, second Rain, and the third was the try of Captain Piranha.
Then he's going
Audience, chaos.
Chaos.
Then the bugbear is going to finish the final 5 feet of movement to kind of stand in front of Dythun, and he's also going to throw one of his javelins at Delphine. That is a grand total of 21.
Yeah,
Where are my... That's 5 points of piercing damage. No, sorry, my bad. 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And is it concentration gust of wind?
It's a concentration.
Then give me a constitution saving throw of DC 10.
You got this.
Just 10. That's not high.
Famous last words.
Uh,
7.
Oh no! But
Whoops.
the good news is, as now the gust of wind, the blow of it vanishing in the tunnel, the second bugbear ends his turn, and it is Dythun's turn. And right after Dythun, Delphine, you're on deck.
Okay.
So Dythun, you now have one bugbear in front of you, broad shoulders and everything. There's 2 goblins around you, and there's mayhem all around you. What would you like to do?
I love mayhem.
This is not going the way Dythun thought it would.
No, definitely. Most certainly.
So
I don't know the way that Dyson thought they would, like, I just cannot fathom what the plan was here, but
look,
How's it gonna go now?
there's a
Chaos.
wisdom of 14, there's an intelligence of 9. So sometimes things don't go the way he plans. Dythun's gonna look around, be a little confused. Our binds were tied kind of loose, right?
Yeah, they were tied in a way that if you would like apply enough force to it, you could
Yeah.
unwrap yourself.
Would it be like an action or anything to do that, or
It would be an action to do that.
okay? Because he can't.
Right now, just to remind you, you get the impression that the Droaam scouts don't consider you a threat. Right now, they do you see the goblins? They side eye you, but they're not aggressive towards you.
We'll see how long that lasts. Dythun's gonna break the binds.
Mhm.
And then he's gonna action surge.
Okay.
And well, I guess hold on, wait, is this an action? That's a bonus action. Okay, before he action surges, I'm going to bonus action roar. I want the goblins and the hobgoblins in the 10 feet around me to be scared. So
Bugbears around you.
yeah, sorry, bugbears. not hobgoblins.
Everybody.
Everybody, what kind of saving
Yeah.
throw do you have to make?
Everybody.
Wisdom DC 13.
Wisdom
Yeah,
DC.
yeah.
And that affects both goblins and both bugbears. I'm gonna start with the goblins.
Okay.
That is a 9 on one of the goblins, so they
That's a
fail it.
9.
That's a 10 on the other. Both goblins are pretty scared by that. Going for the
Perfect.
bugbears. That's a 4 on one of the bugbears.
Yay.
And that's a natural 1 on the other.
Oh,
So
poor Marcus.
Perfect.
40
Everything's afraid of me.
So they have
so
to go towards us.
you let out that roar that echoes. It echoes through the different tunnels around you, intensifying the situation of this powerful warrior just letting out this bestial roar. And the people around you cower in fear. They're considered frightened, right?
Yes. So
Oh boy.
they can't move closer to me, right?
Yes, as long as they are as long as the source of their fear is as long as they can see the source of their fear, they have disadvantage on their attack rolls when they're frightened.
Wonderful. So for my movement, Dythin's gonna move down here. And I'm aware that's going to get opportunity attacks probably by the
They're at
two
least, you know what?
goblins.
The goblins are gonna try, but they have disadvantage on the attack rolls because they're frightened of you.
Yeah. But since the gust of wind is not there, he can move around the bugbear now.
Yeah. That is one of them is a 14,
That's a miss.
and the other is a 20.
That
Yeah.
will hit. Yeah.
Okay. That is a grand total 8 slashing damage as you
Ouchie.
move out of the goblin's range. The goblin is not raging. And
Yet.
is there that was your bonus action? That was your movement. Do you still want to action search?
Yes, I'm going to action surge and I'm going to attack the bugbear.
The one right behind you now, the one to
Yeah,
the
he
north of
kind
you?
of like maneuvers around them, taking that hit, and he's like standing his ground in front of the goblins and bugbears.
Nice.
He's gonna take a swing with his sword, and that. Where did my attacks? Longsword. That's a 14. That's not very good.
A 14. That does not hit, as the bugbear, even surprised and still shaking from the roar, like quickly brings up his weapon and just quickly blows it. But you can notice where you impact with your weapon, the grip of the bugbear on his weapon is shaking. He's nervous.
Perfect. Oh wait, can I? No, that's not how that works. Okay. I think that's everything I can do now.
That was quite the turn, and I think that truly is what you can do. That ends your turn, bringing us to Delphine.
Okay, Bravik is standing in front of me. He is looking rough, you said?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you allowed me last week off game
Mm-hmm.
to use smite on my
Unarmed attacks.
text. I want to kick him in the face. Since my hands are still bound and I don't want to waste time on unbinding this shit.
Okay. So you just want to bring up your leg, bring up your foot, and just kick him in the face.
Like with a nice swing.
Make an unarmed attack roll.
Where's this damn cat when we need it? I will need it definitely. Okay, please, 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 please.
Yeah. Doesn't count, audience.
Sadly, it doesn't count.
Such a cute kitty.
Oh gosh, what are my actions again? This is an 18 total.
Got distracted.
That does hit.
I want to smite kick him.
You want to put a smite into your kick?
Yes. I want
All
to
right.
keep kicking against the wall if I'm allowed to.
Roll the damage from your unarmed attack plus your
Oh,
smite
fuck.
damage.
Unarmed attack is 1 point.
1
So
point. All right. Yeah.
mention
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
I don't have much strength. So these are right. Let me check. I should have at
2d6.
least 1 spell slot left. I have 3 spell slots left, so it's okay. That's additional 8 points of radiant damage.
So a total of 9.
Yes.
How do you want to do this?
Woo.
Like
Damn.
like getting a nice swing. So first looking as if I would retreat, then just getting a swing, kicking him in the face and punching him against the wall that's right next to us, basically.
So you just as you like
It's
try
it's,
to
it's even I will say, since he's standing in front of me, I don't want to kill him, just want to knock him out.
Gotcha. And you bring up your foot
How
to kick.
kind of you.
You bring
Yes,
up your
I know.
foot, and all the there's this intense energy gathering in your boot, in your foot, as you bring it up and just full force into the gnoll, who is plunged against the wall, and you just see him go KO unconscious on the ground.
And then I'm looking at the rest of his group and like, anyone else want to try? Now it's your time.
Wow. All right. Anything else you would like to do on your turn?
That's all I'm
Okay.
doing.
That brings us to Piranha's turn, who was taken a bit off guard from the sound of the boot hitting Bravik's face, and just quickly looks over her shoulder at Delphine. But then also looks in front of her again, sees Dythun attacking the bugbear, and she is going to press the advantage that has been created. Going to move over, stand side by side next to Dythun, and she's going to attack the same bugbear that you tried to attack. That certainly hits. And why am I rolling a d20 for damage? That's not
Well,
point.
listen,
that
calm down.
that does, and she brings down her blade and just carving into the bugbear, drawing a wound. And the harpies down here are actually gonna take up a bit of a defensive perimeter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flying up here, and are now just brandishing their weapons, staring down at the scared and intimidated Droaam scouts, who are still quaking from the bellowing roar that Dythun let out, and there are, wait, actually this one has some extra movement, and is going to move up there and is going to attack that goblin. That also hits. That also damages and actually takes out this goblin. This one
Here
has a
you
little
go.
bit of movement left. And that ends the harpy's turn, which brings us to the remaining goblins, but there's only one goblin left, and that goblin is frightened. Saw his leader go down, and is just gonna move and use his action to dash right away.
Changing the plans.
And
Why do they
that
always
then
run?
brings us to the final person in the initiative, Rain. A lot of stuff happened in this round. What would you like to do?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he moved exactly as many squares off the map that we don't see him anymore, because with
Yeah.
Misty Step and full movement, if he was on the map, I could technically still get him.
What's like the total range of movement and Misty Step that you would get?
30, and I would go through these people to get as far as I can.
So you misty step through those people and then move still.
If I have to, whichever combination would try to get me to it.
Then you would just be able to reach him, to just get to him. We'll bring you to the edge of the map.
Let's do that. I will cast. I will like see this crowd of people. Ugh. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's my full movement. And I peer. And I use I can do the bonus action. So we are going to Mind Sliver. And I would like it to make an intelligence saving throw. As my arms are still bound, this only has a verbal component. There's no somatic, so I'm not going to spend sorcery points here.
Gotcha.
So I whoosh, misty step over, whoosh, walk over, to kind of lean my head forward, and my eyes sparkle at the back of the goblin's head.
That is a grand total of 9.
Yeah, he fails that save. Now he's going to take 1d6 psychic damage. Come on, real good. Ooh, the 6. And the next saving throw it makes before the end of my next turn is a d4 subtracted.
Yeah, the next saving throw he would make would be a death saving throw, because with that Mind Sliver, you project your power of personality into the goblin, and he just collapses in front of you. No visible damage, he just collapses.
Ooh, I turn around before he hits the ground and look back at the group. Like, that's the explosion behind me.
You're so scary.
Perfect.
What the hell?
Action, bonus action, movement. I turn around and I smile at everyone else, and that's my turn.
All right, that brings us end of round 1, and we are now at the start of round 2 with Rebus. Maybe this round has informed Rebus a bit more what is going on. Maybe it hasn't, but I'm curious. What is Rebus gonna do?
Right. So,
Who has my glaive right now? Which harpy?
The one to the right of you, which is labeled as Harpy 5 on the map.
I will kindly just extend my hands and say, just, may I?
The Harpy, who's now still looks at you, just reaches over your glaive and gives it to you. Your hands are still bound, and it will take your action to pull them apart.
It was a really well crafted slip knot. It should come off.
It's true, but it's still considered an action to really pull it loose and get the ropes off and everything. So, but you can have your glaive and everything in hand, but it's your action to pull it loose.
Okay, well, then I will do that and then move to where the bugbears are. If people will let me. Because I assume Bravik is no longer there, or is on the ground. So.
He's on the ground, unconscious. He's of no consequence at this point.
I'll go over him, and just very calmly, just approach these bugbears. And I'll just say, please stop hostile action, and nobody needs to get hurt. Just...
All right. All right. You stand there in your Warforged shape with your glaive in hands and just ask them politely to stop hostile actions. And it's certainly combined with the roar that Delphine let out. Your presence really adds to the awareness of the bugbears that they're in quite some trouble. And as you look at one of the bugbears in front of you, you just really see him quiver in fear at this point. anything else on your turn?
I will intently look at the harpies that are engaged with these bugbears, kind of in a way wanting to convey, like, do we have an understanding that if they stop being hostile, you should not probably like not stab them.
Yeah. Understood. All right. That ends your turn, and it would be Bravik's turn, but he's unconscious, so he doesn't get a turn. And there is then the bugbears who look around right now at the situation. The harpies have charged in on them. There's a warforged with a glaive now joining the fray as well. They see their leader on the ground, and the bugbears now just quickly look at each other, and they just, both of them, drop their weapons and just raise their hands. But they, like, there's still like this look of, they tried to put on a stern face of what's going on, but you can also see that there's still some shiver and fear in them. But they just raise their hands and surrender themselves at this point. And that will mean that at this point, there are no more enemy combatants on the field, and that we drop out of initiative again. As you do notice now, there's a goblin corpse there. Somewhere down the tunnel, there's another goblin corpse. Bravik lies against the wall of the tunnels. There's still some faint movement in his chest that he's breathing, but he is unconscious. And you can hear the clattering sound of the weapons that the bugbears drop, as the harpies themselves are swarming around the bugbears to fully check them for any other weapons. Also tie them up in hopefully not these slip knots that you had been tied up with. And Captain Piranha sheathes her weapon, and she looks at you, Daithun, and just says, "What the fuck was that?"
Dythun's gonna ignore, just like not even sheath his weapon. He's just gonna drop it on the ground, grab the rope he pulled off of his arms, and start tying up Bravik.
Gotcha.
Walk, walk, strut, strut, walk. Shantae.
I just see Rain slowly moving.
Typhoon,
Oh yeah, I guess there.
if I may have a word.
I think we all may have a word with you. And I'm pointing to Delphine.
Right now, and I point to people like on the ground surrendering, and Harpy still like probably pointing weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right now. Then I will take Typhoon by the arm, like once he's done tying up Ravik, and just like pick him up and like take him to the side, to one of the side openings. If I see obviously that the harpies are like themselves taking care of the bugbears in the, which I assume, you know, they're capable soldiers. They probably don't need us to make knots for them. So
Dythun's gonna try to shove Rebus off if Rebus tries like pulling him away.
you can try.
Again.
You can
Why,
try.
why is it always Dythun and Rebus that need to have like strength contests?
Can I get athletics checks from both of you?
That
I
thong.
rolled to an 18, and they went, just kidding, it's a 4.
Total of?
Total of
8.
Ooh.
9.
Oh!
Why, Dice?
God damn it.
As much as you
That
try to
song was
resist,
so
but
good.
but the Warforged Rebus is very persistent in trying to get you dragged to the side, and the two of you are over in one of the other tunnels.
I mean, Rain
look over
and
at Delphine
Delphine
and just like,
will come as well.
Hmm.
So also, I'm pulling off the rope around my arms.
Yeah.
Which is pretty annoying.
So basically, at this point, you're doing like a party huddle here, like being together. Like while in the background, the harpies do their thing. You huddle together and check what's up with Daithun.
I look at Typhoon in the eyes since we're pretty much face to face. Still holding my glaive, but just in a relaxed position. And say, listen, Typhoon. I'm sure you're not surprised by the fact that we might need an explanation. I don't think adventuring party that works in such an unorganized manner and who must be guessing constantly if they might be betrayed by one of its members can survive much longer in a dangerous territory.
betrayed?
For all our sakes,
You thought you were being betrayed? Huh.
no, I said the fear is there because I cannot see the logic in our recent plans, and I'm not one to jump to conclusions early, but
Delphine, did you
I
think
must
you were being
admit I've
betrayed?
been having my doubts. Sorry?
Delphine, did you think you were being betrayed? Because Riva seems to assume this is a communal thought among all of us. I harbored no such thought.
Well, outgoing from the situation that we just had, where Dyphon went on our enemy side, if I don't know even if we are friends with the harpies or not, on which side we are right now, but besides that, outgoing from the world situation that we had right now, yes.
I thought you were
Allow
being
me
a
to
little.
clarify. I wouldn't label it as betrayal, at least not yet, but
Those were your
the
words.
fear is there, and that is I said we cannot be a strong party through a hostile environment if we are doubting about each other's intentions. It's just not sustainable. So I must say, worried at this point. Is there anything you should share with us, Daithun?
Typhon kind of looks around for a minute. He's very tense and uncomfortable, and like usually Dythun is, even in like tense situations, like looks like he kind of knows what he's doing. He is just like stiff, not really wanting to move, not really making eye contact with anyone. But he'll turn to Rebus eventually. I said before, my allegiance is with you first. This party, whether it's with Droaam, whether it's with the harpies, I don't want to see you three hurt. I would hope you would believe me in that. I ask you a question. How many hostage negotiations have you been a part of? Any of you?
You know that.
I've
I
been
don't
on
know
both sides
anymore.
of this. And things never go smoothly. If things go smoothly, something is wrong. I saw an opportunity to make it seem like we weren't allied with the harpies, to try and push that vision a little bit more. If you notice, look, Captain Piranha, by all means, is very valiant and has plenty of battle-ready prowess, but I could have done much more damage to her if that was my intent.
As you say that,
I am-
also
I am
as you say
aware
that,
of this.
Daithun, the captain actually walks over to the huddle here, and she says, "I'm sure you could." She looks at all of you. Anything I should be in the know about as well? Either this was a very convincing display of cunning trickery, or I would almost believe there was some attempt to switch sides here. Though, if there truly were, I think things would have gone a little bit different.
Dyson, you and I had a brief conversation when we were with Mino the first time. And you asked me if I trusted you. And I said I did. You asked me to trust you if you're in when we ensured that our intentions were aligned on the fact that we are to keep ourselves safe. Self-preservation was a first. And second, that we would not be embroiled between this boring political conflict any more than necessary. Now, to be fair, I was a bit unsure of your methods, but I tend to thrive a bit more on the side of the advantage of surprise and a little bit of chaos sprinkled in, so I kind of appreciate what it's like not being in the loop. Well done. But even if the methods were questionable, and I actually step a little bit away from a half step away from Delphine and Rebus, like I didn't read anything personal into it. And Captain, I mean,
Bravik is on
we're
the
not your
ground.
enemies.
The bugbears
Look.
are surrendered. Is this not the outcome we wanted?
Captain says, "Sir, I won't lie. The outcome of this is fairly interesting." She gestures over to the tied up Bravik. "I'm sure we can give him and his compatriots a nice place in the valley for some interrogation."
I do not doubt it. Fine. I think this is enough for now. Thank you, Dythun, for sharing your explanation, and thank you, Rain, for your thoughts. I must admit I must think it over. I'll get back to you if I have any more important things to share. Now, looking at Delphine, shall we continue our journey through the tunnels?
The captain almost interrupts you and says, "Who says I give you permission to do that?"
We basically just defeated your enemies. If we are not free to go away from here now, I don't know what else we need to do.
The captain actually gets like a smirk on her face as she sees Delphine saying that. "I was joking."
I'm done with joking here.
Captain, one little issue. You see, and I point at Breivik. Clearly we have double crossed them. And I would very much appreciate not having to face those consequences. Those that they have promised to us. Anything you could do to alleviate that would be a nice goodbye present.
She looks at Bravik. Looks at you.
I mean, for someone you've never going to see again, according to our agreements.
We will treat them as they would treat us.
Whatever that means.
Very well then. And some of the harpies come over to give all of you whatever weapons they kept from you. Give you back your gear that they carried for you. So you can consider yourself back in possession of your belongings at this point. And Captain Piranha, while the rest of the harpies are busy picking up the tied up bugbears, commanding them to follow them, 2 of the harpies are now carrying an unconscious Bravik between them. Yes,
Can Delphine walk over to the ones carrying Bravik?
Sure.
Hold on a moment. He had something of ours. Delphine's gonna search through his bag to find the sending stone.
It's just going to melt telepathically to you.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Well, he's not being secretive about it. He's saying like,
Oh.
"Oh, hold on, that he had something of ours. Like, I need it back."
Okay, give me a in that case, give me an investigation check to see if you can.
That's sketchy as fuck.
That's a. Oh wait, do I have a bonus to that? Investigation. I have a minus to that. Okay, that's a 14.
14. So you walk over to these harpies who are carrying the unconscious Bravik, and you just ask them like, "Wait a moment," and you start going through the pockets and rummaging through them, and the harpies are looking at you, but at the point where one of them is considering to ask you what the heck you're doing, you sense in one of the little satchels that are on the belt of Bravik, you find this little stone, this little yellowish stone similar to the one that you have, and you have his sending stone.
Good luck, chum. Just, puts it in his pocket and walks back away.
Piranha is at this point like she wanders over. Piranha didn't notice this. She was over at the other end making sure that the bugbears are following her lead. And she then says mostly to the harpies, but indirectly to other people here as well. She says, "All right, we're done here. These tunnels are not our problem for today. We're heading back to the valley." And she just wanders off, keeping an eye that the other harpies are following. And you see Mahat, the one harpy that you knew from before, who is also like prodding one of the bugbears along. He just looks over his shoulder one more time and just waves at all of you and looks at Rain and just gives like a bit of a slower wave, but still like, hi, bye, and follows them. And Piranha, as the group has moved past her, Piranha is going to be at the end of the group as they wander away. She also, just before she turns around, she also gives all of you a nod and then heads back the direction that you came from. And at that point, the only company you have in this tunnel are goblin corpses, some moss, and the sound of dripping water around you.
Anything on the goblin corpse?
I wanted to check this as well.
We can do it together.
If you want to check the goblin corpse, one of the goblins has 5 silver pieces on them.
I'm writing it down.
There's a dagger on him.
Got it.
There's a short sword on him. There's a note. There's a piece of parchment.
Absolutely unfurling it.
The parchment. You're unfurling it to read what it says.
Yes.
You start reading it, and it's. Do you speak Goblin?
It burns your eyes.
No.
Okay. It's in a script that you can't read.
Curious. I'll pocket it.
Perfect. And there's also a set of 6 throwing darts on that goblin.
6 throwing darts. Cool.
Can I take them?
Here you go.
Thank you.
Given
These like game
to
darts.
Delphine.
They are
Weapon.
actual weapon darts. You can kill
Oh,
people
okay.
with these.
I was like, are these like small darts or are these like I'm gonna damage somebody with these?
I mean, 1d4 with a game dart is still pretty bad.
True. I mean, yeah, I can imagine people getting in some trouble with that.
Mostly the eyes. Mostly losing an eye for sure.
Yeah.
Rain will telepathically link to Dython and said, about that, you still have that stone? You're not really going to let Breivik keep the other one? Is that what you want to get?
Delphine's just gonna like look to Rain and be like, yes. He like pulls the other one out of his pocket. Like, the other one's in my bag. But like saying it out loud, just like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, brilliant! Well done. Do you need any
"You
help?
want this one. I mean, I can sit here and have a conversation with myself. It's not going to be very entertaining.
Perhaps we'll find a use for it later. Do you need any help with that? And as the harpies are walking away, I can I hear anything coming out of the tubular flask hanging from Dython's
jug?
waist? Yeah.
Now that it's quiet here, the only thing you hear might be the voices of your party members. You can hear the faintest sound coming from the isolated jug with the sapphire in it.
Dython, nothing personal, but I would feel a little better holding on to this. Would you mind? It's simply my penchant as an arcane user. Nothing to do with what was discussed earlier.
Declan smiles a little bit. Oh, I thought you trusted me. This whole big. No, I'm kidding. Please take it. It's probably ruining the cider anyway.
I think you might be doing the opposite thing, and I would love to share a glass with you after we hand in the infernal thing.
I will remind you. You might want to like close your eyes when you like go to.
We'll
give
let
it-
Lara open it.
I don't know who that is.
Our guild handler, you've met her. It's been a while.
Wait, have I met this person?
You have met her before, yeah.
For the
you
very
did.
first mission.
Oh, it's just been a long
Once,
time.
yeah.
Right. Okay. It's like, oh, right, yes. been a
Sorry, Rain and Dythun.
Yeah.
Could I get perception checks from both of you?
Sure. Okay, you llama dice disappointed me.
Well,
so...
while you're talking about that jug and everything and stuff like that.
Aw.
Dirty 20.
A dirty
10.
20. A 10.
No good dice
Rain,
tonight.
you really like the thought of having Lara open that jar and see how she responds to it. So you're just lost in your thoughts. But Dythun, there's quite a sweet scent coming from the jar. Like a bouquet of all the sweet scents you could imagine.
Is this harkening back to forever ago when you asked what our favorite smell was?
Not per se, but
okay.
if you have a favorite smell, there's a hint
would
of it.
be,
There's a
it would
hint
be
of it in
hyacinths.
hyacinth. There is a hint
Yes.
of hyacinth in the sweetness of the aroma.
I think just kind of looks around like obviously there's no flowers growing in these caves. It's like that's odd.
What is? As I put the gourd over my shoulder.
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Let's worry about oozes on our way back as I walk to join
Okay.
our other two companions.
All right. Do you want to start your journey back through the tunnels to the other side of the tunnels?
Yes, please.
All right. So it's not your first time in these tunnels, and you will recognize certainly some spot in the navigation. But I would still like to have, as a group effort, each of you make a survival check, but all of you have advantage on the survival check because you've been here before and you kind of have a bit of an understanding of where to go and where to not go.
Huh.
I rolled a llama.
Which is a natural 20?
Yes. Total
Nice.
20.
Total 20.
What are we rolling? Sorry, I didn't catch
Survival.
the
Survival with advantage.
survival.
Oh wait. that's
Delphine,
not-
what did you
oh,
get?
A
Okay.
9
With advantage?
with advantage. I have a
Okay.
-1 to survival. I don't remember this place.
Dythun, what did you get?
Well, I thought I rolled a 4 and a 6, but it was actually a 4 and a 9, so it's an 11.
11.
It's not
Okay.
as bad as I thought it was.
Okay, doing good. Rebus, what did you get?
18.
18. All right.
Rebus rolled an 18.
So
Which is
the
Rebus has no bonuses or anything.
Me
and
neither.
the excellent recollection of this place provided by Rain and Rebus helps the party easier navigate the tunnels ahead of them. It's not like all of you, like for example Delphine and Dythun, it's not like you forgot these tunnels, like you've been here before, but you need a little bit of help recalling some of the passages and ways, and Rain and Rebus can help you with that. Rebus.
I'd like to think that like as people were like finishing the discussion and Rain was talking to Dythun about the stone and everything, Rebus just went to Piranha and went like, do you have any indications, any directions of like which tunnels we should be following, or at least which direction we should be aiming for? Okay, thank you. And like putting their lantern again on the glaive and like actually, asking how to go through.
Rebus is the only person who asked the way, I just
Dythun suggests to Droaam,
Well,
Yes.
but Dythun has a feeling that's not where everyone wants to go.
Rain would have
the-
reversed. Go ahead. Sorry, you had a hand up.
Yeah, for the Delphine, it might be like, so you could place it in the middle of the ocean, you would find a way out, but it's these tunnels that have actually features where you can recall the directions. Like, yeah, I don't know.
There's no stars. How am I supposed to guide myself?
There's
There's no
nothing.
stars.
Rain was sure of the path going towards the valley because she sensed the magic in the crystals on the walls getting stronger. So she's just reversing that. She's walking where she feels the pull getting weaker.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, that's a cool explanation of the role. All right. And all of you remember that it was quite a walk through these tunnels. When you came here through, you actually even took a long rest in here. That's how long the walk was. And you keep on venturing through dark tunnels, hour after hour. Sometimes there might be a shadow that's cast large against the walls from the light of the ever-bright lantern, but it turns out to just be a centipede that's crawling away into little spaces between the rocks. You come again past this nice little stream of water where you did your long rest the last time, but this time you arrive here with good time and you're not exhausted yet to rest up yet. You follow the tunnels and you do notice indeed slowly again the transition from this time from a place where you have magical crystals and moss growing on the wall, transitioning back into the colder, rockier parts of the Grey Wall Mountains. After a full day of travel here, you're not quite there yet. And you do notice that walking through cramped tunnels, dank environments, and being on the lookout for whatever kind of dangers might be here is exhausting on the adventurer's mind. And you do notice that you are getting a bit tired. would you like to look for a place to long rest, or would you try to push on to at least get out of the tunnels?
Rain would push for finding the end of the tunnels.
I'm not actually sure if that's the optimal way to proceed, since once we are outside, we'll probably be out in the open to the mercy of the elements, while the tunnels at least are somewhat guarded. We
Well-
can, however, push a bit further, so we may be closer to the exit and not in the territory of possibly more monsters and goo.
Well, Rebus, actually, that was my
But I would
intention.
suggest staying
That we go to the entrance of the
Right.
tunnels and we can rest there and then make a decision based on, I don't know, the weather, what time of day it is in this infernal place.
but it is actually
DM, does Rebus have like more or less an idea
Do you have the feet?
what time of day it is? I don't, but I put the clock on like when we entered the valley because of the sapphire.
And also, all of you, to a
So
degree,
judging by that, it
yeah.
doesn't have to be exact, but
all of you would know that you entered the tunnels in late afternoon, because that's what you arranged with Piranha and with Mino, that you entered like in late afternoon. Going by that, you're pushing midnight at this point.
okay.
So basically everyone is kind of tired at this point.
I will look around to try and determine the level of danger in this part of the tunnel. If we might just want to rest here and then continue in the morning. And if it's not safe enough, we're still, if we're still too deep and in a place where we might not be able to get a full night's sleep, I would agree with Rain that probably we could push forward and find the exit.
How would you go about trying to gauge how safe this place is to rest? Would you like investigate if you see any kind of potential places from which danger would come? Is there any kind of other approach you have to gauge that?
I'd like to know how present other life forms are. So like recalling what it looked like when we encountered the goo monsters, does this look like the kind of environment where they would live? Or does this look too far out or too removed?
You would have witnessed quite some other kinds of life forms. There's like insects that call these tunnels home. You've seen a lot of those. There's bats here, and not too long ago, you actually saw a few fly by, actually heading towards the direction that you're going, which is another good signal that you're heading towards an exit. So there certainly are other life forms here, and you haven't seen any kind of fresh traces of slimy, gooey goodness anywhere.
Okay, and the place doesn't seem completely undefendable, right? Like, are we not? At least we will try to find a place that is not like in a crossroads of like 5 different entrances where we could be attacked from any place.
Well, this place would be more like kind of like a place where there's 3 different tunnels converging. There's one that you're in right now, and then there's like 2 smaller, narrower tunnels to go through. Most of you here, if any one of your size categories of medium-sized creatures would try to go through those tunnels, they would have to squeeze through them. But maybe some kind of Droaam goblin or something could squeeze through them. But you still could position yourself that you at least have your back towards one wall, so you have like a look on all these 3 paths. So it's not ideal, but it's also not entirely undefendable.
Okay.
Titan, Delphine, any
I
opinion?
will-
Let's push forward. I just want to get out here.
Likewise. That
Yes, I think having a better idea of where we are before we rest is probably best.
all right then.
All right.
Quack, 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 quack.
You press on through the coming hours, and the further you press on, the more often do you feel the chill of fresh wind creeping into the tunnels. It starts just as short breezes of cold wind rolling over your skin and the metal you're made of. And the further you go, the more intense the breezes become. And the temperature also becomes colder and colder. Eventually, you come again to the narrow tunnels that you know when you entered this place. Closer to that crevice in the wall that you all kind of positioning yourself sideways moved through. Here, the temperature is almost freezing at this point. And those of you who haven't put on their winter clothing yet again might feel that it would be a good point to put them on at this point.
I just wanted to ask, since I forgot who had my winter coat last time.
We all said we packed everything we brought with us back with us. So
Yeah.
they're probably on our backs or something.
They might in your backpacks, stowed on your backpacks. I mean, something like a jacket or something you can roll up and just like attach to the side of your backpack. You would have them. Not, of course, some of your winter clothing might not be in the good condition that it was when you got it because it's been through something. I remember someone using their winter clothing as a kind of improvised doorway for a shelter. But they are at this point dry and warm if you put them on. And as you make your way, pressing through this narrow space, there's this brief moment of vertigo as you step out of the tunnels and are once again underneath a night sky in the Grey Wall Mountains. Above you are patches of clouds moving at quite a velocity through the night sky, which is due to the wind that is howling. It's strong, but not unbearable. It's dry, not raining. And actually, in between the patches of clouds in the sky, you see the stars above you and the moons that are above you in the sky. You're back on the other side of the wall again.
So now we know. I turn around and start pressing myself back through the wall. It's like, time to sleep. Some are dry, some are covered.
Daithun, you wanted to do something, to ask something? I saw your hand raised.
Yeah. Where are we? Like in relation of everything, because Daithun had
question.
was not sure necessarily where the party was going.
Our map got ripped up.
Yes, we have no map.
Okay, answer before I look up something in the notes.
But where's the destination? I guess
Okay.
is what I'm asking.
Okay. I would assume that since the map got torn up, you don't have an actual in-character map at this point to try to use that. But you have the stars and you have a general sense of direction of where you might be. And from what you can, the majority of the party knows approximately where you are, since this is the entrance that you came in through. You currently, as you enter the cave, as you exit the cave, you would be facing in a eastern direction.
So that's towards Brayland or towards Droaam?
Towards Breland, yeah.
Okay. I guess that's what. I guess that's kind of my question. Is like, are we going into Brayland again?
You're going into, especially going by what you have right now from your sense of direction, you're facing eastward, and that would be into Breland.
Okay. And
We can find the path to Ardev in the morning after some sleep.
Yeah, he knows the party was going to a town, but I don't know if he remembers like exactly where. Like I don't know if Delphine was ever told like, yeah, once we do this, we're going here and doing this, and so he's just kind of trying to get a feel of like general idea of where he is, but he'll spend some time out there and then go back in the cave.
All right. So the general approach for you would be, if you, once you know that the weather outside is okay and everything, you would go back into the cave and make a long rest there?
It's night.
Alright.
That's the
That's the
plan.
Yeah. And if Siphon has these questions, Rain would tell the main character like, yes, and the next part of the plan is to get back to Sharn, and we're supposed to go east of these mountains to a town called Ardev, and then find a friend, not friend, of Delphine's family. Oh, you missed so much. Let's catch you up on that.
We'll start making some kind of sleeping area. Maybe I can sit in the middle if that gives me a good vision of entrances, and make myself warm, so to keep my companions warm, kind of what I did last time when we were outside. Yeah, and I'll lay some of the blankets that we're carrying, and maybe not prepare food, since I'm not quite an expert on that, not eating food myself, but probably putting out some of the pots and pans and utensils that
And I think
they
we all
might
have
need
rations
to
with us.
just kind of expectantly.
Ah.
Yeah, so whatever we need to warm up, or and I will kind of expectantly look at my companions as if expecting Rain to like sit down and start just retelling or catching up Dythroon on everything that has happened as we like get ready for the night.
TLDR, we were invited to plummet to our deaths off of a skyship manned by Delphine's cousin. After the half hour or whatever it took, with many embellishments, and many of those embellishments were to embellish like Delphine's standing or how she looked in this particular, as this wind like pushed her hair just in this way where you see the cheekbone, and no shame in just like putting it there.
Totally valid and important information.
All right, just really making some very necessary embellishments, which Rain does that without a single level in Bard, and just tells the story. And you also get comfortable on the place that Rebus has prepared with the blankets and whatever kind of other things you have with you to make your stay in these dark, dank caves as comfortable as possible. As you all also noticing as you sit down. Yes, Delphine.
Yeah, since we're preparing also mentally for the next day to go into this town, which is hopefully not that far away, I will inform everyone in the group, like, if we're going there and interact with House Orion,
Yes.
don't mention my background that I'm somehow involved with House Lurander or anything. I'm not particularly on the best stand with House Orion.
Then how is it we are presenting, if Delphine has her cousin's emblem, under what pretense do we mean to hand in that?
We are kind of friends. I think would work.
That is far too much of a stretch. I cannot be friends with such a person, Delphine. He tried to kill you.
Listen.
Let's say
Hmm?
it's professional partners.
Yes, that's good as well.
Hmm. All right. So you are just Delphine, not Lyrander.
Nothing else, just that. I just don't want to have like the next shit thrown on us immediately. Not right now. Not after that what happened today, and I'm too tired of all of this.
There, Delphine. You'll get to sleep soon. Don't worry.
I have a question.
Yes, Typhoon.
No,
Who would you like to attack? No,
no, that's during my night watch. Not yet.
Okay.
No, so
You can try. Rebus is a great alarm system.
Rebus is the first one. No, I'm kidding. That's why I take Rebus out first. So
Again, you can try.
Wow, that
um,
escalated quickly.
Delphine throwing out those house names. Does Dythune like? Because I don't think Dythune's like heard any of this backstory before. Not like in character. Would he recognize any of those names?
You would surely recognize names of the great houses, especially if it's not the great houses are just as well known in Eberron as like big corporations would be known in our world. Like you don't
Okay.
need to know who's exactly employed at Microsoft, but you have heard of Microsoft. And
So it'd be like Delphine saying like, "Hey, we're going to like Microsoft. Don't say I work at Apple," kind of thing.
in a way
Yes,
that
yes.
also at the same time these great houses are also in a sense aristocratic families with
Okay.
a lot of sway and say in the world. You would know
Yeah.
if when the name House Orion is said, you would have heard about them, that they are associated with supplying a lot of transportation and logistical services in the world. So usually, if you're dealing with some kind of trade caravans and the like, there's a high chance that someone of House Orion is involved in that. Also, one thing that people also know about them, and you might have seen it, though it might be unlikely that you've been on it. House Orion also runs the lightning rails, which are magical technological trains that run through certain parts of the continent.
And I think it might also be known that there's kind of a rivalry between House Orion and House Lyrander.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's the other house's name?
House
Orion
Lyrander.
and Lorander?
Mhm.
The render, yeah.
Okay. And what's Lorander's deal? What are they into?
Airships, right?
You wanna tell Marcus?
Oh, you can go ahead. You're the Loranda representative
Okay.
here.
So basically also
know.
transportation, but mostly like they have the main territory on like sea transportations and airships. So basically, airships at the moment are the biggest thing that they have.
Okay. Okay. He wouldn't have had much interaction with either of those houses during the war then. But he would be like aware of them.
Yeah, it's like you
Okay.
know these houses, but I don't think, unless there would be like a specific reason for something that he did during the war, it's fairly
Okay.
unlikely that there are other houses that Dython might have had more involvement in during the war.
Okay. I think he just kind of like hearing all this, just like, interesting.
Yeah.
Like not really aware anyone was associated with any of the houses.
Gotcha.
Fun.
All right. So with that being said, and as you all tell each other stories, think about what's next ahead, you do notice that gathered around Rebus, who has made the space as comfortable as possible, which, by the way, is, again, such a cozy image that there's like this warforged sitting there, blankets around them, and the rest of the party just gathered around. It looks cozy. You gather around there and slowly feel the exhaustion pulling you in to rest in these dark tunnels. And as we fade to black, maybe get a typical Final Fantasy-esque in-sleeping music as you rest up for the night, that's a good point to, for now, take our break for today. So let's take a little break here. We're going to be back in about 10 minutes when we continue and start this party back on their track back to Sharn, however they're going to get there, and see how that goes. So we'll be back in 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Stick around, and see you in 10. Oh, well. We are back after a quick little break in which there is absolutely no attempt to influence the cat vantage, but we'll see about that. Before we get back into the session, just a quick shout out to everyone who's decided to drop in today, chat along, watch along. Thank you very much for dropping by here. And if you like what you see, you can follow us on our socials. You find all our socials, our Twitter, our Discord, everything down below the video. And we would like to have you there as well if you enjoy what you see here. We stream every Tuesday, as is There's the Tuesday Today. So catch us then and follow us. There is also our YouTube channel on which we this week reached our more than 100 subs, which means that you can now reach us at youtube.com/Horde of Tales. On our YouTube channel, you do find our you do find our VODs and also the shorts that we make. And just give us a sub there if you like what we do. And I see a little bit of a kitty cat there.
What does that mean, Marcus? Tell the people.
Well, it does mean that if you see a kitty cat and you have the channel points, you can press the cat vantage button in your channel points and give one of the players advantage on the next roll.
Do it now, people.
If there is anyone who does want to do that. And I have to say, Austin, that is a magnificent cat. That is one beautiful cat you have there.
Thank you, Mango Ray. Who's the cat vantage going to?
Yes.
Everyone.
I assume. Yeah.
Everyone rolls with
assume.
advantage.
Yes.
Who is it going
yes,
to?
Yes means the DM. But,
Who is it going to?
The excitement is killing.
Aw.
For the record,
Quick,
dear audience,
quick, go
that's my
away.
husband. And Marcus's other spouse, clearly.
Wow.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have never heard of this man.
Thank you
We're,
for spreading the points.
Thank you very much. With that being said, our adventurers started their long rest, and at this point, you have finished your long rest. So if you feel like it, you can click your long rest button on your character sheet.
Bye-bye, tap hit
And-
points.
get back stuff.
It's always fun to click that button.
It is one of the best things to do on D&D Beyond. You wake up after well, it's not like sleeping in a cave can ever be as comfortable as sleeping in a feathered bed in a tavern room, but Rebus went out of their way to make it as comfortable as possible here, and you do feel refreshed after a few hours of good sleep. And a little bit away from you, where the exit of the cave is, you can see creeping in through the crack in the wall beams of sunlight and the slight whistle of wind from the fresh air outside. What would you like to do, adventurers?
Nice and cold. I guess I see people putting on or people already have on their winter clothing, or not yet.
No,
Probably.
I think we all put it on before we went to sleep last night because cold.
Dyson didn't have, or well, we found you without in the caves. I don't know if you have a inclination.
That's a good question.
Because we specifically packed ours from Sharn.
If Dyson had been spending time in Droaam, would he have winter clothing?
I'd say if you would also specifically go to the Grey Walls, you could have still have some of it in your inventory. I think I described Dython appearing without winter clothing. That might just be because Dython is a badass, but it's you would still have, you could have winter clothing with you if you need so.
Dyphon has low-key heat metal on his armor.
But Rebus is our wonderful thermos essentially, because last time we just kind of huddled around Rebus like this is like group cuddle. He's our
Yes.
kotatsu.
I'm a furnace. Perfect.
Good morning, everyone.
Well, DM, does the cold like damage Rebus a lot, or like do they feel more or less? I know we've talked about this already. It's been a while. I don't remember.
To say it in the words of a children movie, the cold never bothered you anyway, but you if you wanted to, you could put on a coat, but you don't have to.
So he's resistant to cold?
Okay,
Because
Not-
because if
Not rules
No.
wise, Rebus is not resistant to cold, but being an automaton, it's not like the cold is like giving goosebumps or giving them a sensation of cold. Rain, you have no
I
problem
assume
with
if
this
it got to
temperature
a
because
temperature
you're
where like
Rain has no problem with these temperatures because rules wise you have resistance to cold, so you're just more literally acclimated to them, while Rebus is just Rebus' whole shape and body is just a bit more resistant to cold, but not in a rules way, to clarify.
yeah, I assume if it got to a temperature where like it would be dangerous to be outside, like people would be actually taking damage from
Yeah.
cold, then Rebus would also. But just in like, oh, it's chilly out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to know in case like Rebus had to give their clothes to Lythun.
that's where I was kind of going to. Do I have to give my clothes to Dython?
No, I think Dyson would probably have like the
Undercoat?
oh no, I've forgotten the name of it. Like the Watchers of the White Wall in like Game of Thrones, like the puffy collar and like
Cloak?
the cloak all the way down. I think that's probably like just covering all of his armor and stuff, something like that.
Gotcha.
A mantle.
Rather than like giant winter clothes, more just like a really warm coat cloak kind of thing.
Does it match his mane?
No, it's probably like a gray, kind of
Gotcha.
like wolf skin, like wolf fur kind of thing.
Gotcha. So the TLDR of this, all of you are in your own ways equipped against the cold, and if you
Yes.
want to do so, you can all have something warm or don't need to wear something warm.
Rain has hers on.
Wonderful.
It's easier that way.
Gotcha.
So, does anyone know the way to Ardev? East? I vaguely point east from where we're sitting in our as we're waking up. Like,
That's south.
Wait. That's in the end is the easiest to find out which way is what. If the sun just goes up, we exactly know. Okay, this point is east.
then we best be getting a move on before it goes any higher. Come.
Yeah.
All right.
Seems smart.
You break up camp, pack your belongings, and you make your way out of the cave. And
Away.
Delphine does have a point. If there's one way to know which direction is, it's by looking at the sun. And considering how early it is, you do see the sun rise in the east. And I'm waiting for someone to tell me that in Eberron the sun doesn't rise in the east, but for now it does rise in the east for these purposes. And which tells you into which direction you have to wander. But before I just send you off to wandering, let me just explain to you what you're stepping into this fine morning here in the Grey Wall Mountains. The sun does indeed gloriously rise in the east, and there is the sky above you is a clear blue sky with just a few white clouds dotted in it. The sun is shining down on you, and there's also this faint morning mist covering the ground before you. It doesn't hinder your vision. You can see fairly far with these conditions, but it's just like a translucent blanket hovering over the gray stone of the Grey Wall Mountains. The air is cold. If you exhale, for those of you who do exhale, there's a bit of you see smoke or condensation coming out of your mouth. It's not smoke, I assume, unless you're Delphine and you're currently smoking your pipe.
Not right now, not during walking.
Gotcha. And well, it's frisky, it's cold, but the weather's great. Way better than when you came here. So the day is yours. You know which direction east is. How do you want to do this?
Do we know that this town is in the east direction?
That's what we were told.
Do we have any idea where to go?
Darian did tell you that east of the Grey Wall Mountains lies Ardev. So
Okay, well.
But I would like you. How about at this point, can everyone either give me a nature, survival, or history check?
I mean, as Rain thinks, we just go east. We're bound to walk into someone that can give us more clear directions.
What were our options on those rolls?
Nature, survival, or history?
I'll go with the one that isn't negative.
Rain got a total of 16
16 on a
on
what?
history.
History.
Ooh.
Not 20 for a 21 total on history.
On history, nice.
17 on nature.
17 on nature.
13 survival.
Survival. Okay, so Delphine and Dythun, you both know enough about the Grey Wall Mountains that they're large, and even once you're at the feet of the mountains and into the foothills, you don't know. There's a lot of typical vegetation, like you might come into some smaller forests, but going from what you know, like how large the Grey Wall Mountains and the areas around them is, you're still considering there's like a few days of travel at least until you hit any kind of civilization there. Rain and Rebus, what you both as you like, since you've been talking last night also about Ardev going to that place and talking about it that you're going to talk to someone from House Orion there. What you know is that Ardev, in this small village that it is, it's basically like the only reason why people go there is because it's a bit at a trading, it's a trade network, it's a trading hub, and it is, it seems to be close to Castle Arakine, which is a private castle of the king of Breland. So with that meandering thought, you're considering that whatever you know about Ardev, it's never mentioned that it's particularly close to the Grey Wall Mountains. That it's not like it's east. So you're not sure how long of a journey you're in for at this point.
I think I saw this on the back of a tourist pamphlet. DM Castle what? Which was owned by King of Breland?
That is Castle Arakine.
Arakind.
Yes.
Okay, just so I can pronounce it later for myself. Thank you, thank you.
I almost had that.
Yes. Totally didn't have that, but thank you. We're about to walk into someone eventually. But as long as we're going in the right direction, it's probably a good start.
All right. So it's just gonna, you're just gonna just gonna wander eastwards, out of the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Got no other better idea to provide? That's
Yeah,
Rain's
none of us
suggestion.
have like a idea of where this town actually is, right?
So
No,
Eastwards.
wonderful.
We're also in the middle of the goddamn mountains.
Then eastwards we go.
All right.
We can't even see in the distance like civilization.
Yeah, we're like up,
Wonderful.
I think.
You're in for a hike, and the best way to start a long hike is to start with a single step. And that is what you do as you leave behind this crack in the wall that led you into this magic valley where you met these fascinating harpies who showed you quite some hospitality.
Jesus.
Again.
And who
Sorry, I keep forgetting that goes off.
who also helped you deal with the people from Droaam. You learned a little bit about their conflict, and now as you wander, you leave that behind and try to look for ways to get out of the mountain here. You're on a pretty high altitude at this point, so you look for ways that meander downwards, closer into the foothills. And luckily, the weather's on your side for today. Though there is a little bit of clouds popping up here and there, it stays dry and mostly sunny. Rain.
In order to expedite our descent from the mountain,
Mhm.
as we're kind of walking, hopefully towards the borders or going downwards, is there some place where we reasonably see the bottom that would be ideal for jumping down?
You want to go base jumping?
I want to find if there's a place to do this that gets us closer to our goal.
So what you're looking for is some kind of cliff that you could jump off to
Get
just
us
go
like
vertically.
east. Vertically east. Because I would assume that there's no ideal road going east. You have to kind of meander and go
Mhm.
north and everything first or south, whatever.
Mhm. Mhm. You would sooner or later come to like the edge of a plateau, which has a drop on one side, which you actually, all of you are aware of that significant drop on one end, that you steer clear from it so you don't fall off the edge. But Rain, you would see if you like carefully peek down, That's quite a drop from there.
Everyone,
Yes.
this road probably goes quite some distance before it turns to start heading downhill. Why don't we just fly off the side?
Oh, right. I forgot to pack my wings. My bad.
As I'm doing this, I let like the beginnings of magic like twinkle out of the tips of my fingers. We'd have to fall a bit, but I can make sure the landing is very manageable. Properly, evenly.
Can I peek down and see if there will be anything in our way that might hinder us from landing there?
Look down the cliff.
Like a river or something.
It's a very long drop, and at the bottom, thanks to the sunny weather, you see at the bottom there's like a ravine at the bottom. No river, but a lot of loose rocks and stone. But there's no river or any other danger that you would just be plunging into.
To better communicate to the party as players at the table now, I can cast Featherfall 4 times at this point.
I think you only need to cast this once.
It's a
for,
minute.
like- Yeah, but if you're falling for a while and then you cast it,
It says
it just needs to be at the right time.
That's yeah.
Here.
That's the key. Is making sure you do it
But before we
not
hit the button.
10 feet off the ground.
and they still have gust of wind as well to potentially aim, but we've successfully have kind of done this, and that was even with one person who didn't have this ability in the beginning. But now we would for sure have everyone, because anyone who within 60 feet that I choose. So you're all included.
What all of you would understand from this is that alone, this kind of shortcut could certainly cut down some travel time. But you're leaping downwards. But all of you also have experience with the Featherfall effect, be it either as a spell or as a Featherfall token. So you kind of know what to expect, but now it would be that Rain would have to cast it on-
Except for Delphine, who wasn't there at any of the games.
That's true. That's true.
But
Indeed.
we did. We had the training. Didn't we have training?
Yes,
But-
without Dyphon.
pulling from.
Without Dythun.
Dyphon also was not there.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
Delphine
no,
has
so Delphine has not done this before.
Experience.
Why are you even?
What say you, companions?
Oh, well, fine. I don't wander the whole time through this damn mountains.
So, you have confidence in your abilities?
Well, it's more of a group effort. We control our fall. Rebus makes excellent harnesses for all of us to ensure we do not scatter too far away. And takes also this
Right, you
faith
do.
and trust.
I will say the harnesses might not even be needed, since it's not that far down like the last time we dropped from somewhere.
She means from a skyship.
Yeah, if you believe you can
And-
do it, I believe in you.
Well, if you manage to stay within 60 feet of me for my magic to reach you, then yes, it can be done.
Sounds good to me.
That's why I
I will
recommended
make
the
some
harnesses.
Just want to quickly
But 60
shout
feet
out.
is quite a lot.
Just want to quickly shout out. The DM is gonna make a roll with advantage right now, but don't ask about what the roll is for.
Okay.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Shit.
I walk up to Rebus
Pardon me?
and I just kind of tea stand in front of them.
I would thought making a harness on Rain and then proceed to tie it to all of us.
Okay. So, Rebus, you're going to prepare again the harnesses for everyone. And Rain,
Yes,
you're...
and I will vary the pattern a little bit from last time, just to keep it interesting, you know.
That is important. Perfect. The pattern is a different pattern indeed. And as you're ready for the preparations here, could I get a round of perception checks from everyone?
Oh god.
Okay.
For no reason. Just checking the weather
Absolutely no
around us.
reason.
Total
Mhm.
19
Yeah, okay.
for Rain.
My God. Okay.
Lucky roll. I never go.
Oh, 8. Oh,
Hmm.
this stay.
8.
8, 8, and
18.
18. As you are making your preparations for base jumping in the Grey Wall Mountains, Rain, you're already like have your arms stretched out at the edge of the cliff. You feel the wind underneath you. What's that? You look and where's that shadow coming from? And Daithun, you also, as you're looking at Rain, you do notice that the first thing you notice is that there's a sound on the wind, a distant sound. And then you notice that very briefly a shadow flies over the group. And both you and Rain, you look up and you just see up in the sky, briefly blocking out the sun, is almost like these large bat-like wings in the air.
Have we seen these before? With a rider on them?
Excuse you?
In Sharn,
Oh.
it was like the more pterodactyl-like creatures that you saw.
Okay.
These wings, from what you can see, because you can only see the silhouette against the sun, they're like, from what you can tell, they look bat-like, and there's like a tail coming out at the end.
Is everyone kind of near the cliff?
Yeah, and I'm assuming that since Rebus is like making sure everyone is also strapped into their rope harnesses, you're at this point, you would be almost ready to go.
Dython's gonna make eye contact with Rain. You can do this as long as we're together, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. He's going to push everyone off the cliff and jump.
Okay.
What
Ready
the
to leave
fuck?
now.
Yes! I love this!
Dython likes
And-
pushing people off cliffs, apparently.
As you like,
Canon now.
Rebus and Delphine, you're all now tied to each other thanks to the harnesses, and suddenly Dython is like shoving you all, pulling his own weight down the cliff, and all of you are yoinked off the cliff. And while you're still processing the shock of what's happening as you're soaring down, the two of you now also look up and you see in the sky this dark silhouette that is now tilting forward, and goes into a dive bomb downwards towards you as all of you are also falling down alongside the cliff. Delphine.
Delphine, as directly after Delphine shoved us from the ground towards our death, basically, I would just scream to him, "This is not helping in gaining our trust back."
Don't care.
Fair.
The wind is howling in your ears as you're falling along the cliffside past some rocks that jut out, all of you attached to each other. But this creature that's chasing you is in full dive speed coming towards you. The wings now folded along its side. And as it gets closer, you just see this lion-like head on front of it and a long scorpion-like tail extending from its back as it's going in a full dive towards you.
Fog cloud.
Fog cloud.
I want to obscure. I want us to be. I want it to be obscured.
So you're casting basically in its direction the fog cloud.
Yes. So if it's going to go
Okay.
for us, hopefully it's going to have a harder time determining where?
You cast the fog cloud in the direction of the creature, and it gets completely covered by the cloud. And from the cloud, you can hear then this bestial sound coming from it as it's now in the cloud, and all 4 of you are still falling full speed towards the ground, which is coming closer and closer and closer. What are you doing?
Is it time? Does Ray know it's time for Featherfall?
Might be a bit too early at this point.
I'm gonna just turn around and be like, I'm yelling. I need to, with my wit in my mouth. I need to concentrate. Mind that thing. As I want to put full attention, even though fog cloud behind me is concentration.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not looking at it anymore.
Yeah, you fall further down. The rest of you who might be still looking in the direction of the fog cloud, after a bit of while, if there's more as there's more distance between you and the creature, you see it emerging out of the cloud, moving away from the cliff face that you're falling past, and it looks like it's trying to reorient itself to see where its prey is. And now that you're falling closer and closer to the ground, you see it spots this this group of adventurers all tied to each other falling further down as it's again tries to give chase.
Another fog cloud.
Another fog cloud now coming from the paladin of the group. This creature can't cut a break. You fling another fog cloud at it, and as you do, Rain, you would notice that you're slowly coming into a place that you would have to start casting now if you want to cover everyone with Featherfall.
Bam. Cast. Reaction. It's so reaction is done.
But you have to cast it at each individually, right?
Nope.
No.
Oh, up to 5 falling creatures, indeed. Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah, that's true. As you cast it, you do notice that Delphine has put up her own fog cloud, again enveloping the creature in this mist, and you again hear this coming from the mist. As your speed lowers and you slowly get to the ground, still there's quite some acceleration in your fall, especially because of the unexpected start of the fall, and you
I love it.
come towards the ground. Could I have dexterity saving throws from all of you?
Brace.
It's not a super high DC, I can tell you that, but just wanna.
Is it higher than a 1, hypothetically?
Hypothetically, yes.
Oh, okay. Non-hypothetically, that's a 1. Let me check my modifier. Yep, that's a 1.
Oof.
17 from Rain.
17.
Oh, good.
16.
16.
15.
15. All right. Everyone except Dythun sticks the landing as
The only one prepared to fall fell
As-
badly.
Dythun, you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage
Ouchie.
from this.
Guard.
But all of you eventually stick the landing. Dythun slides a bit on the ground into some of the rubble, and you can hear now way above you again this roar of this creature that chased you, that's now still in the fog cloud that's lingering up there. As you're now here, you're at the bottom of a ravine. You fell for quite a while. This was definitely a shortcut, but there's still some weird lion-faced flying beast chasing you.
Immediately looking around for like cliff
Same.
shelves, overhangs, anything.
Something where we can get cover.
Yeah.
All right. There is in between in this ravine, there are some larger rocks and larger pieces of rubble. Like there's these parts of the mountain that might have come off from the mountainside, and they just landed down here in the ravine. You could find some shelter behind them, between them. So if you guys, still attached to each other, by the way, would want to hide behind one of those, could all of you give me a stealth check, please?
Oh, I'm good at those.
Okay, don't let me down, Lamas.
Dythun will actually mention, everyone stay connected. If it takes one of us, it takes all of us.
My.
Whoa.
Great.
It's a 7 from Rain.
7 from Rain.
A 9 with disadvantage.
9 with disadvantage.
An 11.
11.
5.
A 5.
Yes, yes.
Disadvantage, no
Great.
bonuses.
What happens? What happens? What happens?
You go behind some of these rocks, scurrying behind them, huddling together, ropes still tied to each other. As you have your backs to the wall, you can just hear the wind howling, and then not far away of you, you hear something landing. You hear low growling. Steps on the gravel and the rocks.
It's gonna like peek around.
As you peek around the corner, you now see that this creature is walking on all fours, coming from its bat-like wings. They end in this clawed kind of paw that it uses to walk on, and the hind legs are these muscular clawed legs with paws on them. The lion-like head just looks around in search, and there's this segmented scorpion-like tail that's curling up and is almost like moving along with the directions that the head is moving.
I will telepathically link to Dyson because maybe he's from this area. I'm like, I don't think we can outrun this thing. Can it be defeated, or should we try to avoid this?
Who?
To Dyson, because my brain's assumption would be, since you're sort of from the region, maybe you have an idea.
Yeah. Does Delphine have an idea? Or should I respond first?
No, I wanna I wanna do something.
What would you like to do?
Like taking some rock and throwing it somewhere away so that its attention gets to a different point where it hears some rubble.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully. Not sure if this works, but this is the only thing that comes to my mind right now.
There's only one way to find out if that works.
I
So you
have
want
2 questions when this is resolved.
Okay. So Delphine, you want to first of all, before you get to throw something away, you do notice that as you're all huddled together, not especially stealthy going by the rolls that all of you had, the creature like snaps towards where the rocks are, where you're hiding, and it just leaps close to you, and you can now looking around the corner is this lion face of it, and you can feel the warm breath, and it just snaps at the group as you're just like inches away from this creature now.
Oh,
That information might change what you want to do, so I wanted to share
Yes.
it with you.
Yes.
It just goes.
Does it speak a language that we understand, or anyone of us?
have you spoken to it yet?
Yeah, so we haven't.
It
we haven't
sounded
tried
like it's speaking.
Was it speaking Leonin?
It was not speaking Leonin, no.
Then I'm out of ideas. Because it certainly wasn't common.
Was it speaking any language this Rebus could understand?
It does not speak any language. As far as you tell, it's speaking some kind of bestial sound language, and it is focused on you as potential prey.
So
I'm
I now only
casting
have one
Marine there.
question.
You're casting Marine Lair?
Yes.
Fuck it.
Damn it.
Initiative?
You're just gonna put yourself the Marine Lair around you as this fog comes up.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And you do see the moment that this fog starts coming up, the creature, by whatever kind of bestial instinct this has, just steps back from the cloud emerging, and all of you are covered in this mist. but you can still hear the creature growling on the other side of the marine lair.
I assume Dyson doesn't know what this is. Like, not specifically.
Make a nature check.
It's a 13.
From what you can tell, this looks like some kind of breed of manticore.
Oh, fun. I have a little manticore figurine, actually. Would Dythun be able to, like, battle readiness assess if this is a thing we can take on?
What kind of role would that be? This is essentially what Rain asked him. Like, should we?
I
roll?
would-
Like,
Like,
he's familiar with everyone's capabilities and, like, strategies and stuff, but this is kind of unfamiliar.
what you
to
know
him,
about
so-
from what you generally know with the nature check about manticores, like it's probably at this point looking to see if this is prey that it can get. You all are smaller than it, so that makes you interesting prey. But considering if it would see that all of you have capabilities of defending yourself, I mean, no animal fights till the death, and you could try to overwhelm it. That would be within your party's wheelhouse of what you saw from everyone.
So then, as that marine layer goes out,
This is
Dythun-
10 minutes.
yeah, Dythun's gonna pull his sword out and say, "Hit it hard and fast. It might leave." And
Can
he's
we
just gonna
please
go
before
As
we're
we all
still
get
tied
pulled,
to
as we all get
each
pulled
other?
behind Dyson.
Oh right, I forgot about that.
No, it
Okay, so
happened.
if we're tied,
Yeah,
if
you're
we're
all-
tied together, he wouldn't have pulled everyone. He has enough sense to not pull everyone with him.
Okay, all right.
I forgot we were tied together.
Well,
Wow.
Dyson has a
no,
better memory than me.
I will release the bind then. I has a quick release mechanism, and everyone still has a harness on, but they're no longer.
Also,
connected.
everyone who is in 5 feet around me can see through this fog quite easily without any problems.
Oh, so it's to our advantage too.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think when I asked last time, I think I misunderstood then.
So everything that's away from this 5 feet range has this advantage.
All right.
Oh well, if that's the case, I assume it's within 120 feet. The manticore thing. It's
How do
like
you
not.
mean?
It's less than 120 feet away from me.
Oh yeah, it is less than 120 feet away from you. Yeah.
I think he's just gonna firebolt.
Firebolt it.
Yeah, why not?
Make an attack roll for your spell attack roll for your firebolt.
That's a dirty 20.
That certainly hits, and you like quickly out of the mist, like fire your firebolt, and you hear from the other side this.
That's a 8 damage.
8 points of damage. And you hear steps outside of the mist. Can anyone inside the mist see what's outside the mist? And as you peer through the mist, you see that the creature's now taking more steps back, like taken aback by this blast of fire coming from the fireball. And it's now just
I would
really
like
looking
to shoot it with my pistol.
with the pistol.
Yes, sure.
Make an attack roll.
Come on. Oh, this is not bad. Oh, God. After all these bad rolls. This is a 21.
That certainly hits.
nice.
And these are 10 points of damage.
following up the fireball, and this creature is getting more cautious from the burned gut. You hear echoing in the ravine the sound of the shot fired, the bullet flying through the marine layer and hitting the manticore in one of its front parts of the wing as it winces and lets out another roar. And especially also scared by the loud noise of the weapon, it just takes a few more steps back, rears up on its hind legs, spreads the wings, and then just takes off away from the ravine. The rest of you are still here in the marine lair, hiding behind some rocks.
Is there
Nice and
time
moist.
as it flies away to launch another firebolt, just to like reinforce that kind of burning?
You want to try to hit it with that?
Yeah.
Make an attack roll as a goodbye present for the manticore.
Simple math. 17.
That still hits.
Yay.
Quick maths.
That doesn't. There, that's a number. 3.
That's 3 more points of fire damage as the manticore flies away, lets out one final roar, and slowly leaves this not prey behind. As you're now down here in the ravine, no longer tied to each other. The
Okay,
weather is
then.
still bright, and you basically took a nice action-packed shortcut.
Ah.
I will let go of the marine layer. So that's vanishing.
Oh, but it's so good for my skin. It's so nice and moisting.
I think certainly could have gone worse.
Definitely.
It went quite well, and I point up to the high point of the mountain where we previously were.
And it's like, especially like all of you have to like really put your heads back to see where you were. And yeah, you're now a lot closer to the ground, but still in the mountains.
Is everyone
Very fortunate.
everyone good?
What a curious creature. I believe so.
Rebus, can you get this harness off of me?
Yes, of course. Sorry, Miss Delphine. I will start like undoing the harnesses on everybody.
Well done, everyone.
Sorry about the shove. It just, you know, I didn't want that thing to grab one of us.
That was the right call. And I look to the other to Delphine and to Rebus. That creature was indeed circling right above us.
Just thank you for seeing it. I can't imagine what could have happened otherwise. We might have ended up with a very dangerous problem in our hands if it had grabbed one of us.
At least
We
the
hurled us
landing was
into the
softer this
air.
time.
Anyway, yes, thank you, Rain. That was very helpful.
Everyone did their part. Oh, look. We're behaving like a proper team now.
Right.
That's encouraging.
So,
East.
Well, let's get
East.
going.
right?
Right. And you do continue east, out of the ravine, further towards where the sun rose this morning, hours after hours. The sun moves across the sky, slowly bathes the sky in an orange color as it, towards the end of the day, sets on the western side of the world. And still, the furthest you has come now is that lying behind you are the high peaks of the Grey Wall Mountains. You sure covered some, but there's still a way to go until you're in the foothills, until you're in the plains in front of the mountains. And who knows how long it will be until you've made it to Ardev. But this journey will go on a while. And how this journey will end, and where you will go, and what awaits you in Ardev, and awaits you once you make it back to Sharn. We'll find out next week as we continue then. Alrighty.
Ah,
Click, 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 click,
we
click.
made it.
Woo!
You are making
We
your
made
way
it
back
and we
home.
have
Making
the
it.
gem.
We haven't made it yet.
Yes. So
Making
we
away.
are-
Making away.
Fair.
You overcame the people from Droaam.
Oh,
You
goodness.
left quite the impression on the harpies, and you did some base jumping in the mountains as well, with manticore monstrosities chasing you. So that's quite the adventure you had for today,
And we're even getting paid for it.
and you're even getting paid for it.
Hopefully.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like almost with the feather falling thing, the party should be called like the feather fallers or something. Like there's need to be something in the party name for like you're
There's a
jumping
lot
off of surfs.
falling.
Yeah.
Chat,
Or-
if you have suggestions for a potential group name, something with falls or something with chaos or synonyms thereof, let us know.
chaotic falling. So
That doesn't sound
Butterfly
good.
effect. This is so funny because I like Rebus is probably kind of relieved that they haven't had to fight much because the conflict either like their companions fought or like it resolved itself. But me, Serial, is suffering right now because I play a barbarian for a reason and I want to fight so bad and we haven't done anything
But the rest of us are really
Oh,
trying to
in
fight.
like 2 episodes.
Yes. I mean, there was a manticore standing
Anyway,
right there that you could have taken on.
I know, but then everyone was like, no, let's just, let's hide. And I'm like, okay, let's hide then.
Could have
Right,
ridden
noted.
it to Ardev.
no,
It would have been
noted on the wish list. The barbarian needs more fights. That's a good point.
I just looked up the
if that
the
has
manticore,
consequences for Rebus, because they have therapy to attend to, but like
They all
I
have
want-
therapy.
bunch of things.
But the worst part is that Rain is kind of Rebus's not therapist at all, but mind technician.
Mind technician.
Where the cure might be
It can
as or
only
more
go well.
painful than the symptoms.
Are you proficient in this? Yeah. Sure.
She actually
I've done it
is.
so many times.
As an aberrant mind
Moving.
sorcerer, actually. Oh, what fate that we're the ones equipped to help each other with the personality difference. That's kind of sweet in a way.
Mm. So, well, then we'll find out maybe in the coming days traveling to Ardev there will be something happening, or what awaits you in Ardev, because it sounds also like you have to figure out how you're going to present yourself in Ardev to whoever is going to bring you back to Sharn. But that is something for next week, as we're going to wind down here today. I want to thank my fantastic players here for joining again today. Thank you very much for bringing the chaos and coming with creative solutions and playing your character so well. And
Thank you for
also,
DMing us.
Yes, thank you very much.
you are very welcome. And thanks to everyone in chat who came out and hang out. Thanks for the cat vantage that was offered. And if you enjoy what we did here, we'll be back next week. But before we head out entirely, is there anything anyone wants to share before we head out for today? Any news, anything coming up in the coming week on any of your lives? Any streams you have planned? Any other things you might be in?
Well, we had some cool people in the chat. Thank you very much for coming. And some people from a Discord server I'm in called One Shot Fridays also came to say hello. Mostly because I'm going to be DMing for them tomorrow. I'm going to actually just host a simple game of the Quiet Year. But I'll also be hosting a Quiet Year for the Death Seas and
Ooh.
Dragons Discord server, which some of you may know is run by Indrani. And anyone can go there, start to part of the Discord, sign up for the Discord-only TTRPG one-shot, which is going to be a lot of fun. And I'll be hosting the Quiet Year one there too, just for funsies.
Quiet Year is a fun game. So really cool for running that.
And One Shot Fridays, I will say, as a Discord group, they're mostly European-friendly TTRPG and D&D discussions.
All
Because
right.
that's a bit of a rarity, because a lot of things are very North American based in that time zone. And so I really like One Shot Fridays for like, bringing voices across the pond, across the water to us who like to say good morning when it's actually our morning time. That's something really heartfelt. But look them up. I'll put some links in chat or share them via our socials, and play lots of cool one shots.
Cool. Yep. Thanks, One Shot Friday. Anything else from anyone?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I don't know if I mentioned it. A new title came out in DM's Guild. A small $2 pamphlet of a fighter subclass called the Battle Dancer.
Right.
I made the cover for that, and it's really cool.
It is.
So, if you want a little bit of like finesse and elegance to your fighter, check it out. It has cool art by me, and it's like
If you want the
3 pages
opposite of
it.
Dythun,
It's not much. It's really
go get this.
yeah.
Exactly. Indeed, the cover looks good, and it looks like a fun subclass. So if you're into some fun fighter classes with a bit of flourish,
I would totally like, just to clarify, I think the writer did a great job, but also like I would totally play a character like this. It's exactly
yeah.
like my kind of character. It's so fun.
nice. All right.
Very good.
Well, that's it then for today. I'd say thank you for joining. Thank you for playing. Have a nice rest of the day wherever you are. And we'll be back here on Tuesday. So take care. And hopefully we see you next week again. Bye-bye.
See you in a week.
Bye. Maybe I'll get cat ears right then. Bye.
What?